Hey there, Fort Stewart and Hunter Army Airfield. This is Molly Cook with your latest edition of the Marne Report. Today, we are here with our friends from the Directorate of Human Resources, Mr. David Sutherland, the Chief of Military Personnel Division, and Mr. Alan Brunson, a Workforce Management Specialist. And we are going to learn all about the new Virtual Newcomers platform. Welcome to the show, gentlemen.
Thanks for having us here today.
Thank you.
Sure thing. So, first things first. Up until this point, the Newcomers Fair has been an in-person event on Fort Stewart, correct?
That's correct. That's correct. In the past, that's been about a 4-hour event hosted twice a month at Club Stewart.
Wow. So what caused the switch from going in person now to this virtual platform?
Well, that one's pretty easy. The switch was caused by COVID-19. COVID-19 changed the world. It changed how we have to approach our business practices. Because of COVID-19 being so active and so contagious, the typical brick and mortar construct face-to-face orientation for people was not practical. So we had to come up with an alternative method for providing that to our newcomers.
Fantastic. So tell us a little bit about what went into making this website come about.
Well, this actually came about from a discussion between the senior commander here at Fort Stewart and the garrison commander, who recognized the limitations of the brick and mortar construct that we just talked about a couple of minutes ago. So the question was how can we provide the same type of service but in a different environment, like a virtual environment, as many things have evolved to under COVID at this point. So we did some searching at onboarding at major universities, and some of those major universities already do a virtual onboarding. So we looked to see how we could emulate that and model it for our incoming soldiers and their families, and that's how that came about.
Awesome. So tell us a little bit about what you can find on the website.
Okay, on the website, you can find a plethora of information regarding gate hours, access control points, directorate agency resources. There are also videos for various directorates and agencies about family members, spouses, soldiers, civilians. There's a great deal of information about just the general areas and resources that Fort Stewart and Hunter provides as a whole.
That's cool. So I went and I was poking around on the website a little bit, which, by the way, everyone, if you would like to check it out yourselves, it is stewartandhunter.com.
Correct.
That's correct.
We have our own domain now. And it's separate from the Fort Stewart homepage at this point, but we're looking to integrate that into the Fort Stewart homepage, so you'll be able to do it at home via the .com or go to a link that's going to be on the Fort Stewart homepage.
That's great. That's great. So what I noticed while I was there is that I can look at the webpage as a visitor and just watch all of those videos and access all of that great information on my own. But say I am an in-processing soldier, is that a requirement for them to go and watch these videos before they get here to Fort Stewart or once they get here?
Actually, it's a requirement for them to do it before they get here. We're actually working with the Human Resources Command to have that link added to soldiers' orders and giving them instructions on accessing the site and telling them that they have to do it before they get here. Then they go to the site, register, and it's a very simple process to register. And then they go through there's 3 main modules that are in it. There's a module set for soldiers with families, a module set for single soldiers, and then another one for DA civilians, so that we cover the whole gamut of personnel that PCS or come here to Fort Stewart.
That's fantastic. I think 13 years ago, I would have loved to have something like this when I was in processing.
And one of the great things about the website is that it's global. So soldiers can access the website anywhere in the world, and it's not CAC enabled. So they'll be able to get the link, the URL to the site, and be able to access it anywhere in the world.
That's awesome. Yeah, when I was looking at the site, I looked at it on my phone, and with this day and age, with the way that people are on the go all the time, I felt like maybe that might be a way that people access this training. So speaking of the training that's required, how is that tracked? Do they have to log in or?
They do. The soldiers will have to log in, and like I said, it's a very simple process. And the way it works is once you're registered into the site, you will go through each of the modules for your particular area, whether you're a soldier with family, single soldier, or a DA civilian. And as you go through each of the modules, and the number of modules just depends on how many topics there are. There's medical, there's onboarding, reception, there's medical, Army Community Services,
finance,
basically the in-processing process and key things that you need to know. And as you go through each of those modules, it'll just check it off. And then once you get to the end, there'll be a survey. Click on the survey, and then you can either save your completion certificate to your desktop or your iPhone, or you can print it off.
Great. So just one thing that I think back to the in-person newcomers fair that used to happen at Club Stewart, and in the other organization that I used to work for, we participated in that. And the one thing that I'm so excited about with the virtual newcomers fair is that it was always difficult to get the spouses to be able to come to the newcomers fair because childcare was always an issue, maybe work was an issue. And something that makes me so excited about this is you can access it at any time, making it to where those that may not have been able to attend in person can still get that helpful information that maybe they wouldn't have been able to get having not being able, to go in person. So for one, thank you guys so much for spearheading this website, because I think that this is an invaluable tool for our soldiers, family members, civilians, even retirees who haven't been here in a while that want to take a look at what's happening on Fort Stewart and Hunter Army Airfield. I think that this is fantastic.
Well, thank you very much for having us. One of the great things about this opportunity is you can go through the modules and you don't have to take notes, because you can always go back to the module to get the information that, oh, hey, I remember that was in the medical. Let me go back to that module and I can find the information that I was looking for.
Yeah. Our
goal is to provide an exceptional onboarding experience made up of proactive sponsorship, first class in processing through the Marne Reception Center, and then the Virtual Newcomers Orientation that answers your questions before you even ask them.
That's great. So let me ask you one more thing. Are there any other installations out there that are doing something like this?
We are number one.
Yeah, that's great.
And I can tell you from past experience, I even made phone calls to other services, not just the Army installations, but to other military services, and they're like, wow, you guys are way ahead of us.
Fort Stewart and Hunter raising that bar.
That's right.
Raising the bar.
Well, thank you guys so much for being here with me today. I appreciate it so much. I do encourage everyone to please check out this website. If you're brand new, or even if you've been here for years, there is something valuable for everyone on it. It is stewartandhunter.com. We hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your week. Rock of the Marne.
Good. Rock of the Marne.